Oh man. If you're gonna do a big dip, I'll do a big dip.
Don't do it.
Don't do the big dip.
Don't do the big dip.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Paul Chambers, and welcome to Texas Heat, brought to you by SubSummit. This is the show with some hot brisket and even spicier subscription, recurring revenue, and membership questions. I'm joined here today by Joe Barger. He's a VP over at Hiya Health. Joe, thanks very much for coming in.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
All right. Well, we had a little pre-show chat, and you were telling me your tolerance for heat, and it felt like it's a lot higher than my tolerance for heat. And I'm still feeling a little anxious about this. Hiya Health is a company focused on reimagining children's health through sugar-free and organic chewable vitamins and nutrients. Mm-hmm. And when you're not knee-deep in data points, you're preparing for fatherhood. Yes. And you do a great job supporting others in the D2C subscription community. And your role is VP of Retention.
Yes.
I love that. So thanks for being here again. What's going through your head as you're ready to take on the Texas Heat gauntlet here?
The gauntlet. My tolerance could very well be way off from where it was 15 years ago.
Pre-show, you were telling me how you would take on like the Blazing Challenge at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yep.
And so we have some Texas brisket here. We have the 5 sauces for those of you that haven't seen this show before. They're all Texas-based sauces where SubSummit is being held this year. So we'll do a little dip and bite, and then we'll get into some questions. Let's dive right into it. This is the Rudy's barbecue sauce here. It's pretty good. I take a little tab of it the other day.
Okay, great.
The brisket's good too.
Peppery.
Feel a little bit of pepper in that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Joe, your career is impressive. You worked at Honest Company, Pretty Litter, and now you're that VP at Hiya. But one thing that I saw was consistent across your career is that focus on LTV and strategy. How have LTV and strategy changed in this past decade?
I think through COVID and through Amazon, subscription in general has obviously grown, but the strategy side of being omni-channel is also more acceptable now, of being subscription and then expanding into retail. Having a balance between the two is assisting you to reach your consumer across where they want to shop.
Yeah. So what'd you think of that sauce?
I like it. It was sweeter.
It wasn't too spicy. Like, I felt a little bit of that pepper in there, but like, I'm doing okay right now. Should we move on to the next sauce here? So this is a Stubbs Sweet Heat. Diving into this one, grab a little more brisket there. I haven't felt the need for any Yoo-hoo yet or any mac and cheese. I bet it tastes similar to this Rudy's here. That's good. Mm-hmm. You can taste the sweetness in that.
That one, you're right. That one is more sweet. I guess sweet heat. The Rudy's gave me like a pepper kick.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a pepper kick in there.
This one didn't have.
So you were at Pretty Litter during a crazy time, joining when they were just a team of 4, rapidly scaling to the tune of 25x, moving through the operational challenges of COVID and the craziness that brought to COVID on everything, and topping all of that off, the exit to Mars Pet Care in there. If you were to ride that proverbial roller coaster again, what advice would you give yourself?
To be patient. That like every day feels like, how are we going to do this? But as long as like the team consistently stays in touch, like communicating and has each other's back, and the demand is still there, like you will find a way to push through all of the different challenges. It felt like we could do everything, even the hardest days, which were pretty hard.
So that's a tall order as you're trying to aggressively grow something. You've got this massive organization staring down the barrel of, an acquisition. Being patient, how do you think that would have changed things for you?
I think less reactionary. So like the moment something comes up, something happens, you think it's a fire. And then tomorrow something else happens that's 3 times bigger.
That was an easy one.
Yeah. Taking yourself out of the situation and realizing how big is this problem actually? And if I do something right now, a fast, quick fix, is it actually going to cause me more problems?
You almost need a meditation room.
It would be a full room.
Yeah. Maybe with like padded walls or a bunch of pillows so you can just slam things down. Yeah, that's patience is a virtue. That's fantastic advice. So speaking of breaking, let's see if we can break the heat on this a little bit. Let's move on to our next one. This is green. It's got to be hot if it's green, right? Born Texas style hot sauce, the best in the land. It has an iguana on it. Oh, this is so funny. It says, oh yeah, it's pronounced Burn-E.
There you go.
That's great. Nope, not Born. It's Bernie.
But whoever did the copy on that did their job.
A+.
Yeah.
A+, you got us to it. Okay, it's something of Weekend at Bernie's or feel a little more on that one. Oh man. He's got the cough.
Yeah. That one gives it to you like right away.
Yeah, that one hits you in the back of the throat a little bit. So green, this is all going to connect. Now you studied in business with a specialization in entrepreneurship at Michigan State.
Yeah.
And my favorite part is you also studied forestry.
Yeah.
And it seems you've contributed to building a successful live edge business with your father and your sister.
So my dad was a tree doctor. I always say that. He was a tree doctor.
Yeah.
In reality, he was an arborist.
Okay.
But tell people your dad's a doctor. Well, he's a tree doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he used to actually work with Michigan State and the different programs coming up with solutions for like diseases, tree diseases and things like that. But that's what got me into it.
Okay.
I grew up with
Yeah.
a tree family. And then when I moved to California, I was trying to furnish my home.
Okay.
And everything was that I wanted, I could have made. But it's really like focusing on actually preserving the wood. There's a lot of stories that go with each tree in someone's yard. Like a lot of people grew up with their kids swinging on these trees or have connections to them. And when they do have to come down for health reasons or
just grind it up in the chipper and you're grinding up all those memories.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So now it can be turned into a memory
So cool.
or a piece of furniture, a table.
Yeah. And I feel like that's your mind at work there of, seeing the opportunities and throwing them out there.
Yeah.
Should we move on to what might be the more spicier one now?
Yeah, you're
By the
right.
way, I might take a sip of my Yoo-Hoo here.
All right.
I always get nervous when it says refrigerate after opening. Like, we didn't need to refrigerate it before opening.
Right. What's in here?
Yeah. So I feel like the spice level has been okay. It's been tolerable so far. The green was kind of my upper limit. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah. That
This is
looks like
chunkier.
it's going to... That's going to be spicy.
This is Tangy Tamarindo, the Texas hot sauce, from Community Gardens. Oh, you're gonna do a big dip? You're way more daring than I am. But I'll do a big. If you're gonna do a big dip, I'll do a big dip. Let's see what we got here.
Don't do it.
Don't do the
Don't do the big dip.
Hold off on that big dip. No. Listen, I'm in this with you, Joe. I will do the big dip. Definitely spicier.
It doesn't kick as much as the green one, but it lingers longer.
It does linger. It got my eyes to start watering there for a second.
Back to the Yoo-Hoo.
Back to the Yoo-Hoo for sure. So, with this heat coursing through your veins, I want to ask you a few rapid fire questions to get some honest answers on some subscription trends you're seeing out there right now. What is your opinion on taking a brand to retail?
I think that it depends on the brand itself. There are different retailers that fit each individual brand, but it's not the end-all be-all strategy for everyone.
Do you think the DTC space is oversaturated?
Kind of. Yeah. I do think that from a consumer perspective, managing 50 different one-off subscriptions gets tricky.
Blackstone 2-burner griddle, overrated or underrated? And I'm asking because I see from your wedding registry you got one.
Oh, I did get one for my wedding registry. I like it.
You like
It's
it?
fun.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the traditional barbecue. Like, we still need a barbecue.
Still need the traditional grill.
Yeah.
Like with the little.
You can't do chicken like with a bone or it's just different.
Okay, so overrated or
fun.
underrated?
I think it's underrated. It's fun.
That was. Are you still feeling that? I'm still feeling that a little bit in my mouth.
Yeah, the more I breathe, the more I feel it.
You just gotta breathe in there. Well, the good news is we are on to the Stubbs Spicy now, and so we'll give this one a shot. So Stubbs has the sweet heat, which we tried. They're the original, and this is the spicy. We're taking a step down a little bit, but yeah, nice thing compared to other spicy shows out there. We don't have to get our hands dirty.
That's the best part.
We can be gentlemen here.
Yeah.
Joey, I know you can't make it to the SubSummit this year with your new baby set to arrive. We're very excited for you.
Thank you.
Just before the event, but if you had a budding entrepreneur come up to you at SubSummit and ask you, for the absolute best advice you could give somebody for launching a D2C brand today, what would you tell them?
Surrounding yourself with people who have done it or seen it to help guide them so they're not learning the same story that everybody else is learning at the same time. Don't go to it and just sit independently.
But that's scary sometimes, and it's hard to open yourself up that way. What are some of your hacks that you do to in a room of people you don't know?
Sit down at a table with other people. Like, you, even if you're not doing the speaking, listen, because people are talking, people are sharing their information, even if they're not talking directly to you. Just take it all in. Really, like, keeping an ear open at all times.
Even if you just kind of slide into a side of a conversation, see an opening, and you can participate here and there, but just really absorbing.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So, Joe, it's been great learning about how you view LTV and strategy and growing a subscription brand, hearing some of your personal history and background, and getting your honest feedback on the Blackstone. Really super helpful as well. So before we depart, I got to know, aside from Hiya Health, what's your favorite subscription that you have in your life?
I think Peloton is still like...
The bike or the trend?
Taken
or just like the whole experience?
The whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Love the meditation.
Really?
Yeah.
And it goes back to what you were saying earlier about that patience and slowing down and taking that 5-minute break, taking a walk. Well, we'll break from the show here, and I'm sure we'll spend some time finishing this off. But thank you so much for coming in today and being part of this, and appreciate learning. For people that want to check out Hiya, what's the best website address for them to go to?
HiyaHealth.com.
Easy. That's HIYA.
HIYA.
Cool. Well, thanks again for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
All right. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, push any of the buttons that you find all around, except for the X button on the display. This is a segment we're going to be featuring at SubSummit 2024 in Dallas, June 17th to 19th, live in front of our audience there. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode.